says we are live on YouTube.
All right.
Good.
Alrighty, so I guess we'll start with the opening of the meeting. So, gotta hold on a second here. Put my screen up.
Is Katie not being able to make it?
I know she's had a hard time the last couple times. So I'll send her a quick text though.
Okay.
I know her schedule has been.
Her work schedule, yeah, I think is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
We'll start with the opening of the committee approved the agenda of April 27th as circulated. Do I have a mover to open the meeting? And
I'll open the meeting.
okay, all right, Jim. Megan, want to second it?
Yeah.
Is that Maggie?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Maggie, yeah. Alrighty, I'd like to do our introduction now. So we have our 3 new rec committee members. There is one more, but I don't believe she was able to make it, but she was going to be watching online. So Crystal out there, good evening. And I'd like to welcome Jim Abbas, Jessica Lilly, and is it Basia?
Basha, yeah.
Basia.
Basia, okay. Well, welcome to the Recreation Committee.
Thank you.
Glad to have you aboard. We're looking forward to having you guys give us some more direction or ideas. They're always glad to, have them thrown at us and be a part of everything. Next would be, so we did the adoption of the agenda, the adoption of the minutes from March 23rd, 2021. Do I have a mover? Maggie, anyone? Okay.
I'll move it.
Okay, so Maggie first, seconder, Jeff? Anyone? Jeff?
Sure. Katie's on her way too.
Alrighty. And there. Alrighty. Disclosures of interest. Does anybody have any disclosures of interest to bring to the table?
I think you missed the minutes, Brandy.
Minutes from March 23rd. And then the agenda, the adoption of the agenda. And then I just have the recreation to confirm the direction and the adjournment. So that's all I have.
Okay, there should have been the adoption of the minutes from March.
That was
Maybe
the
that's when
one.
your printer got stuck.
That was the one. I did the agenda for the 27th and I've done the minutes for March 23rd.
Yeah, that's what we just did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So disclosures of interest. Anyone? Maggie, did you have anything to bring?
No.
Alrighty, so business from previous meetings, update on CD Saturday, the postponement. So as we know, we unfortunately got postponed for that. Not sure if we're going to be able to do a reschedule or how's it looking, Maggie?
Val and I were talking, and the only date that we can do would be May 22nd, assuming the lockdown comes off on the 20th. But May 22nd is a long weekend.
Yeah.
So I'm not
Yeah,
sure if we should do it that weekend or we should just postpone it for this year. It's up
Well,
to
it
the
gives us
committee.
more time to plan for next year. What is everybody else's view? Jim?
I would say postpone it for the simple reason it is a long weekend. And it'll just be hard on it from experience I've had before with long weekends. That's all. Go ahead.
Yeah, we do find that unfortunately. Anybody else have anything to add, Jeff?
Yeah, and I was going to say, what indications are pointing at they're going to extend the lockdown. So, I mean, it is going to be tricky. But I think definitely, and Val, you're the gardener. Is that getting also late in the year, I guess, too, as well, as far as like having your, my wife just planted all of her
The seeds.
Yeah.
growing flowers, get ready to go.
Yeah, it is a bit late, but it's doable, but I agree we should postpone it maybe because if the lockdown is a continuation, then it's just, and yeah, it gives us a better idea how to plan for next time. So,
I was
Yep.
asked Val a quick question during your because I saw that I thought there was like a big donation too as well. I was reading the Merrickville one because they did theirs right in March. Is that right? Or am I they're meaning from their library minutes correctly that they did try to run one and I thought I read in there they got like $800 of seeds too as well to kind of as like their too as well.
well, what they've got, if they've got the seed library set up actually in the library as you come in the front doors, so people can just go in and help themselves. Now, how they handled that during the lockdown, I'm not sure. So it's a learning process for us for sure.
Yeah. I think it'd be great if we could try to get it off the next year for sure. And do you think we'll have to invest, like if we do it right, will we have to invest a little bit of money to make sure that we have a good start with everything too as well, or?
I personally wouldn't think of investing. I think we should be able to survive on donations, and people bring seeds and people take seeds. And that's what the whole concept is about. So you don't have to go out and spend a lot of money. The whole idea is to encourage people to garden, and do it as cheaply as possible. And it's a learning curve for a lot of people, especially now,
Cool. Awesome.
Yep. Maggie?
We also have some good gardening stores in our area. If we could start earlier and get gemmos and quattroches and get them to donate seeds to us, we would start off with a lot more. But when we keep postponing the date, that's hard to do with anybody. So for next year.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're all in agreement then that I guess should we take a vote, or do we pretty well all agreed?
I say cancel.
Okay.
Cancel.
Yeah, I'd say cancel. Yeah.
Cancel.
So that was unanimous. Alrighty. Next on the list, update on the Canada Flag event. So I know that the flags have been purchased and are in. Yay. So that's really awesome news. Now it's just to do the plan for making sure that they get handed out. Jeff, do you want to go ahead?
I just want to ask real quick that for our new members, because this is sort of one of the new initiatives that Maggie brought forth. Was really cool about the flags. I just want to make sure if our new members are all aware of what the Canada flag thing is.
I'm not.
I think maybe Maggie might, not to put you on the spot, Maggie, but could you give maybe a synopsis of what this is, because it was a great idea that you brought
It was
forward.
a great idea, and you came up with it, so you get the honors.
The honor. Okay, so what we're thinking of is having a virtual Canada Day. And what we've done is we have purchased flags for every household in Montague Township. We purchased 1,600 flags, and there is 1,500 and I think it's 69 homes in Montague. And the flags are going to be given out free to everybody. We're going to ask them to display them in front of their house, on the mailbox, on the blue tag thing, wherever, and take pictures, send them into the Facebook page so we can put all these flags online. We got the flags, and they called me on Monday because they had no place to put. Honest to God, you know how many 1,600 flags is? That's a lot of flags. So they called me and told me to come pick up these flags. They didn't tell me to bring a van. I took my car. I had flags like every seat, every trunk. I have a lot of flags here. So now we have to get these flags out to every household in Montague. What I had thought originally was having a drive-through at the township offices where we would just pass the flags out to everybody. But I got a little bit of pushback on that from the township. They're concerned about us blocking the emergency lanes. And even though I explained that we're going to have less cars there than are parked there 5 days a week from the other guys, I see their point. And I also think we should have more than one location to do that. If we could kind of divide Montague into 4 parts and have 4 locations the same day. I'm thinking of Saturday, I think it's June 2nd, from 11 till 2 or 11 till 1, whatever. And if we could find 4 locations to have this drive-through in different areas of the township, so everybody doesn't have to drive to the township offices. I was thinking, oh, and we're also getting a list of addresses from the township. I dropped off a USB stick on Tuesday, and they're going to get that back to me next week or the week after.
Oh,
So
good.
we'll have a list of every person in Montague, just the address. That's all we need. We don't need their names, we don't need their phone numbers. They'll just drive up and say, I'm at 4703 Roger Stevens. You mark it off the list, you give them a flag. Then we'll see how many more we have to do after that initial drive-through. Right now, what I'm thinking of is Rosedale Hall has one of the spots, possibly St. Bede's Church. That's kind of Rosedale North as another location, and maybe the Civitan Club. Now, I don't know what's down. There's a lot of houses down around Adirondack and that. And I don't know of a location down there that we could possibly use. We're going to have to ask permission anyway to do it. But I don't know that area well enough to suggest a place if somebody lives near there. Or...
What about the Gallipo Center?
I was thinking the Gallipo Center might be good off that highway, eh? Not right up at the Gallipo, but maybe, what about that OPP place that's down on 43?
I don't know if we'd have to get permission from them. I'm not sure. Val?
Maybe we could approach the Gallipo Center and ask them if we could maybe use their front lawn, you know, where they used to have activities going on, and set up a little bit of a drive-through.
Right
It's a
off.
thought. Yeah. And you know, I don't feel that we should be restricted to only 4. You know, if we need to make it 6, then by all means, because Montague is a really huge township. So yeah.
If we were to go further in towards like the back way and then Ottawa area, where could we find that's out that area? Like if we were to add another one. Valerie?
I was thinking maybe the airport.
There's a smart idea.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Melissa?
I'm going to play a little bit of devil's advocate because I wasn't at the last meeting, but why are we doing pickup locations with COVID?
Sorry?
So when we initially talked about this, one of the things we talked about was doing possibly drop-offs. And like personally, I am not comfortable going and doing a pickup location, but I would spend that 2 hours or 3 hours that I would have spent at the pickup location driving around and doing porch drop-offs or mailbox drop-offs, because then I don't have to be in contact with people. Like I know I'm young, I'm healthy. I'm not gonna have a vaccine in June. Like I'm not gonna have a single shot. It's very unlikely. So I don't know if other people feel the same way, but I would almost rather, since we have the list of addresses, distribute, like I live on Nolan's Road, give me all the Nolan's, William Campbell boundary, and I will do that circle and drop them all off. And I'd rather spend my 2 to 3 hours doing that than actually dealing with people face to face.
I
Okay.
got that. We kind of threw a couple of things
Yeah,
in the other day when we saw each other.
I did find out there are 96 streets in Montague. Now, some of these streets are very short, like I think it was Rutherford or something. It's only like 5 houses on it. But when you get to the country roads, the houses are very far back. Now, are you going to drive up the laneways and drop them at the door? Or are you going to, like the flag?
I was going to say, would they fit in mailboxes?
Mailboxes, that's what I was hoping, yeah.
It won't fit in the mailbox.
Yeah.
It's too big for the mailbox.
It would have to be porch delivery, and not everybody wants you on their property.
Or you could put, I just put an elastic on this one. You could put it on the flag of the mailbox.
Yeah.
Or on the blue emergency number thing, and just hang it there.
That's a good idea.
And hopefully the people will Jim has a comment.
I just was gonna say
Yep,
that
yep.
that'll be fine as long as you don't get some young people out there when they see all these things hanging along there and come along and pick them all up. Because even as counselors, when we put flyers out, I know most of the time I tried to go to the house if I could, but if you put it in the mailbox, you just never know if it gets through to them or not. That would be my only concern. If we hang it, someone might just come on and take a whole mess of them. That's the only thing.
Flying 40 flags outside of their house. Yeah.
There's nothing saying that we can't do both, and it's not like we're having major contact with the people. We are still going to be able to keep our distance. They are in their vehicle. We are handing said flag, and by the judge of the flag, they're long enough that you're not getting close to the people. So once we have the idea of who we've missed, then we'll have to do maybe some driving around to drop off the remainders. So do we do both? Jim?
I was just gonna say, why don't, if it doesn't bother somebody that has had the needle, like I'll have mine shortly, May 10th, I think I get mine. So somebody that has had the needle that doesn't mind going to a drop-off spot, and somebody that doesn't have the needle, that doesn't feel comfortable, could maybe catch the ones that don't come out if they wanted to drive and do something. You could probably do both if you want to, both ways.
Does everybody agree with that? I kind of like the idea of me, like giving the option anyway.
Option, that's right. Because I can understand not having the needle. I certainly wouldn't want to be involved with people too much neither until I don't know how many's had it in this group, but I know I haven't yet. My wife has, because she works in a medical place, so she's had hers, but
I'm vaccinated.
mine is coming up, and it would be.
I've had mine.
I'm not as old as you know.
I love it.
I think it's a good idea to do both. I think we should do the drive-through on maybe the first Saturday of June, which is the 5th, and then see how many after that is left. I've also had people email me volunteering to do their roads. Like there's a person on McFarland, on McPherson that says, I'll drop them off on my.
Well, that's awesome. Val, you had something to add.
Yeah, I like Jim's idea of having an option, and I like Maggie's idea about just trying the delivery or the drive-through system first, and then whatever's left over. And there are kids out there that are looking for volunteer hours too. So it's a possibility that we could organize like in the Rosedale area when there's a lot of houses together and the kids know each other, just have them do the delivery and pick up an hour or two of volunteer hours. So there's another option for us to discuss.
Yeah.
So
How does anybody feel about approaching the school and sending them home with school kids?
Well, that's a question of whether they'll be in or not with the way things have been going. Like somebody asked me the other day, and I said, like, until they bring it down from the top, we don't know from week to week, Jeff? Like, it's not until they tell us, you're going. So it's that's really hard to plan the school.
Katie has a comment.
Oh, sorry, Katie.
It's probably not the safest bet. Brandy, you would know best, but the wildness that happens on buses, you should probably keep those maybe away from there.
They're kind of long. They look like.
Not saying my children would be the wild ones, but they are two boys, so I say we probably keep those off the buses.
There'd be flags out every window.
Yeah.
Jessica had a comment as well.
I was just curious, if we're doing a delivery, are we gonna put some sort of note in with it so that people know where it's coming from?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, and I think if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, Maggie or Jeff or Ian. I think they were going to do a thing on the radio, if I'm not mistaken. Did I hear anything about that?
Yeah, I'm gonna get 88.1 to do some announcements, and I don't know if we'll be able to get Bill on live on the radio to discuss what's going on, because the only people that are going to know about this are the people that are on the internet and are watching YouTube or on the Facebook page. So some people are going to say, well, what the hell is this flag from? So we are going to put just a little piece of paper, compliments of Montague Township Recreational Committee, fly your flag on Canada Day.
With virtual pictures. Send us your pictures.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. We want to make sure that we get our the Montague Facebook page on there, so we can. It'll help also get people attracted to the Montague website or what Montague, which is good for communication and everything else too as well, which is fantastic. Getting them to post the pictures and just flooding the Montague Facebook page with those pictures of the flags, which would be just so cool.
There's a bright red flyer going up on the Montague page about the drop-offs and the locations, and make sure everybody gets your flag. And yeah, hopefully everybody will post a picture to the township Facebook. We got good reception for the Santa Claus parade one, so I mean, hopefully we'll get enough people driving through.
So can we at least be in agreement on at least 4 of the areas that we can, so we can at least have that set for directions, so that, because I don't want to leave the meeting today and have it get it too close where we're running out of time to set that up. So can we maybe Rosedale Hall, St. Bede's Church, Civitan Club, what was the other one? Airport.
Airport was cool.
And the Gallipo Center.
And the Gallipo Center. So are we all in
I
agreement?
don't see the point of the airport. I don't see the point of the airport and Rosedale and St. Bede's, mainly because they're also very, very close.
Okay. Jim?
I was just gonna say the Gallipo Center is not a bad idea, but I don't know if you want to have it like right up where the center actually is. You'd want to have it out near the road someplace.
Yeah.
Because most people won't want to drive all the way up and then come back. I'm just not sure where you had planned on it there, but I would think if it was up near the highway more, if it could be there, that's where you'd want it. That's all.
What about, Jeff, sorry, I'll let you go first.
I was just gonna say, my only hesitation with Gallipo Center is that it's not part of Montague anymore.
Yeah.
It's not.
Oh,
That's the only snag I have on. I mean, it's a great place, but it's not in the township.
What about, are we still in the township right on Hershey Drive there? Like, you know, kind of along there? Because it's kind of off the beaten trail, like towards Dean? Or no?
That's also false.
What
Go ahead.
what about that nursing home? That's in Montague.
That is
On the
Sure.
right, if we could ask them possibly and
That's
just go right on the
Chardonnay.
corner. That'd be a good spot right there
Yeah.
for that area.
Katie?
I'm not sure that if we're doing the drive-by or the drive-through and the drop-offs, if we need to worry about having a ton of locations, because if we do have like say 4 main locations, that way we can really separate the flags out so that we're not really running out of, oh, sorry, we don't have any more at this location, but they're here, 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 and here.
Yeah.
If we just limit that, then it's like, you know what, these are the locations, this is where you go. If they can't make it, then we'll take it to them. I think that we need to just maybe kind of keep it a little bit more contained into areas like maybe instead of doing St. Bede's, do the school, so you have the big, long parking lot for the cars to pull in, so that they're off the road, we're off the road, and they have the space to just go in and out, in and out.
That is a good spot.
A better suggestion than St. Bede's, where you're like really close to the road, and Rosedale's being so busy, right?
Yeah.
Just an idea.
No, I like that
Good
one.
idea.
I like the school. The school's probably a better spot than Rosedale.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing, just because you have that perfect roundabout that if we spread out, you could get, you know, it would be easy.
We don't have to worry about kids in the playground, or that's a really bad corner there sometimes to get in and out of.
So
But we have a
Civitan
lot of
Club
fun.
definitely, the school definitely. Sorry, Ian.
Yeah, one thing that we want to keep in mind too is that anywhere we do decide to go, that we get the permission to go there. So especially someone that's not owned by the township.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Val?
I just wanted to get a breakdown of the locations where we're going to eliminate, because right now I have 7. So we're gonna delete St. Bede's Church.
Yeah.
We're gonna delete the Gallipo.
Yeah.
We're gonna delete Miss Falls Airport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chardon Manor. What's that? We're gonna do Chardon Manor?
We'll have to get permission.
The biggest thing is it's privately owned, so that's going to be
Yeah,
the
So
permission side of things.
we're gonna keep the Civitan Club and the Montague School.
Yeah, I'll try and get in touch with the principal right away. I'll message on their school page or something, and hopefully he'll get back to me.
So that leaves us with 2.
Melissa?
Instead of doing the nursing home on the
Chardon,
Merrickville
yeah.
Highway, just because it doesn't have a big parking lot or anything, and
Yeah.
because it's a nursing home, they also have to deal with all of the extra issues that nursing homes are currently dealing with.
Yeah,
What about trying to go more like closer into Adirondack and going with like the Tweed where like at the corner of Lauren and Hershey or Lauren and Rita, like one of those parking lots, and seeing if we can get those. Yeah, they may not be in Montague, but they definitely service that area a lot better than going out on the highway, because we also have to remember a lot of people in that area don't necessarily drive.
Where the old Stanley Tools was, what's there now?
yeah, I was thinking,
Tamco.
Yeah.
Was that
It
where
would-
they moved?
Yep, Tamco has the old one.
or there's the, where the old EMC offices are.
You're in Smith Falls now. What happens
Oh, yeah.
with Smith
okay.
Falls?
Oh.
When I was on council, it wasn't always the best back and forth. I'm not
Yeah.
sure how it's working out now.
And I'm
But-
concerned if we go too much into Smith Falls, we're gonna have people from Smith Falls trying to get flags.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good point.
What if we just set up like right on a street in Anne Arundel? Because I mean, it's not like it's a busy driving intersection area. Like if you literally set up on one of the streets and people kind of walk down the street, and we're on like this, like is that a safety issue or not? I don't know, but I mean, like literally set up a table there and like in the middle of Anne Arundel.
Jim?
What Jeff said there too. What about John McTavish? He's got a big lot beside his
Huge
house, and I'm sure I could talk to him if you wanted, but I'm sure he'd let us use a spot there,
oh,
and then anybody there could drive up.
That's a perfect one. Let's see if Mr. McTavish,
Good idea.
our old Reeve, will allow us to do that.
Yeah. I think he
Yeah,
would.
I like that spot too.
okay.
Like that spot. He's
So
right
that
in
gives
Anne
us,
Arundel.
that gives us 3 solid spots then, is that correct?
That's
Yeah.
good.
That'd be 3.
That covers
School,
it, yeah.
Civitan Club, and that spot, right, Valerie?
Yeah.
What I have is the Civitan Club, the Mr. McIntosh or McTavish, and
McTavish.
the Montague School. That's the 3 that I have.
Yeah.
So we need a couple more.
Jeff?
I think 3's pretty good. Like
Pretty
Okay.
solid. They're
it's
solid.
pretty solid. We just got to get permission from those 3 places now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jim can.
I'll check with McTavish, Mr. McTavish, if you want.
Okay.
thanks, Jim.
Okay.
Ian?
Yeah, that's the next thing, I guess. If you're, Jim, if you're gonna talk with Mr. McTavish, maybe he can touch base with he's on the Civitan, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah, I can check with both of them actually then with him. He was the one of the head of it for a while there. Okay, I'll get a hold of him for both of those then, if you want to see.
I'm sure Mr. Carroll has a contact at the Upper Canada School Board.
Sure.
I'm actually going to be talking to Paul
He's probably
tomorrow.
more influential than I am.
I'm actually talking to Paul tomorrow. So if you want me, Brandy, I can go ahead and ask Paul. I have a phone conversation with him in the morning.
Awesome, that would be great.
What's the date again that we want to use the school?
I believe
June
we
5th,
said June 2nd,
June 5th, a Saturday.
11 till 2.
June 2nd?
Is that
11
too early?
to-
Just out of curiosity?
It's early if everybody picks up their flag.
It gives us extra
It's
time.
not early if we end up with, 1,400 flags left over.
what was it, Maggie? What was the date?
June
Yep.
2nd from 11 till 2.
Okay.
No, second to the 2 was a Wednesday.
The 2nd or the 5th? I'm hearing both.
5.
Thanks,
Oh,
Maggie. Brandy, you're messing us up. The 5th.
5th.
And the
Yes.
time frame again?
11 till 2.
Thank you. Okay, I'll ask Paul tomorrow.
Okay.
Is Katie, is that Paul at the Montague School?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
He's a fabulous principal.
He is.
Okay,
Now
so
we have to figure out if we get these 3 places, we need at least 2 people at each place.
I'm good for Montague School.
okay.
And
I'm close to the Civitan, so I could probably do Civitans. I'm good with that.
Go with the
I'll go to
school.
McTavish
Then we'll go to McTavish's.
if we can get in there.
Yeah.
I'll check and see first.
We'll get an allowance.
What was the date
need
you
one
had
more.
there? I kept hearing you say 2nd and then 5th and
June
then
5th.
Fifth,
it's the
yeah,
5th.
fifth.
Okay, I had the
Oh,
2nd.
my mistake.
5th. Okay. Thank you.
It's got her hand up there too as well, so it's a.
Okay,
So we need
so
one more person. We need one more person at each location because there should be 2 people at each.
Go wherever.
I'm good with the school.
Jessica at school.
Jessica's for the school. Okay, and Val, where did you say?
I'm easy because I live in Andrewsville, so I have to travel wherever. So
There you go.
wherever you need somebody else, just tell me. So
So I put you down for Civitan Club.
sure.
You can hang out. At least there's food just down the road.
Order pizza.
I'll order from one of the spots, Country Diner or something.
So
And
Brandy, are you doing the Civitan Club?
Yeah.
Okay, and Maggie, what are you doing?
I can either go. I can either go with Jim to Mr. McTavish's, or I can be available to deliver flags to anybody that runs out.
Okay. The runner.
I can be a runner as
runner.
well. I
There you
just,
go.
I
Jessica
can't have
can be a
contact
runner.
with that many people
Yep.
because of my skaters.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
totally get it.
I understand that.
So I think Ian.
I can go wherever you want me. You just tell me where to go and I'll do whatever you want.
Do you want to go? Well, we've got 2 at the school. We've got 2 at Civitan, and we've got 2 at McTavish's. Or no? Do we have a second one at McTavish's? If you
No.
allow.
Go anywhere.
Okay. If
I'll put
McTavish.
Ian down for McTavish's.
Yep.
There you go.
Hopefully John will allow us to.
Yeah.
So that's Jim and Ian at McTavish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Now it's not till June 2nd, but I have all the flags in my basement.
5th.
So if anybody wants to pick up a couple boxes, there's 144 flags in a box. And I think I've got 16 boxes of them down there. You can't see me trying to
good
pick them
workout.
apart. And you
I hope
think
you
anybody
counted
can
them.
run to that office and help me? No way. They're all in there.
Next
I
up,
have
Um,
all the shields from one of the skating clubs I work with at home right now because we were switching rinks as we got shut down for COVID. So I can also bring those so that if people want to wear shields, they can have one.
I do have one, but thank you if anybody else. Ian?
Yeah, I just want to make sure that the people that are getting in contact with the Civitan and John and everybody else, that we get permission somehow via email or something like that in regards to liability and everything like that. We need to make sure we have our T's
Yeah, no.
crossed, I's dotted.
Yeah.
And
Paper trail's always good.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, we should have written permission.
I think everybody was in agreement for that to send to council. Anybody want to add anything before we move on to the next? Yeah.
I was gonna say, we'll bring that liability back to council too as well, because we'll probably have to call our insurance company just to make sure that it can be covered and everything else. So I think that'll, Ian and I can make sure that we're on that for making sure everything's safe and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Okay. Asia?
Yeah,
I didn't get a job assignment for the flag thing, but I could be backup for any of those spots or a runner or whatever. You
great.
can just let me know what needs to be done.
Awesome.
Okay.
Even if you feel comfortable enough and you want to join any one of the locations, I'm pretty sure that, well, we're always welcoming for the extra hands, and we'll
Right.
just give us that more spread out and keep the line of moving.
Right. Yeah. I could do any of those locations.
And don't forget, after the June 5th date, we might need a lot of people driving around delivering them.
Dropping off. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good with that too. I can also deliver.
Awesome.
And that's easier with 2 people if you're sticking one in the mailbox or on the mailbox.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
I think we're good for flags till
All
next
right.
time.
So,
So, Brandy, just one second.
Ian?
I guess just one thing before we announce anything or put anything up or anything like that, let's make sure it goes through council and all these places are all approved before we post anything or anything else of that
Yeah.
nature.
Yeah, definitely sending this to council's direction with approval from property owners.
Bingo.
Okay, can I move on to the next one now? Yeah, okay. So the next would be the update on renaming of the committee. Now, I know I saw the email with some names that were on the list. I guess I'll read the note. So the first one was Vibrant Community Committee. Second one, Montague Recreation Committee. Third one, Montague Arts and Recreation Committee, in brackets MARKRC. Montague Arts, Recreation and Social Event Committee. And then Montague Arts, Recreation and Fun Committee. And the Fun Squad. And Leisure and Recreation Committee. So I guess my first question is, did anything really jump out at anybody first?
They're
Melissa?
all starting to sound the same.
I liked
Yeah.
Mark because it had a nice acronym that was easy to remember. And then the other one I liked was Leisure and Recreation Committee.
Okay, I've got 2 scores for that. Anybody else want to put a?
What's wrong with just the Montague Recreation Committee? Once you start getting into all these long words and stuff, is there a reason why we're changing it from that, or is it just?
Some people were concerned just that possibly they might mistaken that it's only sports and recreation involved, that we're not doing anything else over and above. So some people had the idea of maybe adding the arts part or making it kind of stand out a little bit more.
Okay.
Don't know if everybody's in agreement, Maggie.
Yeah, before, a couple meetings ago, we had tried to set up things at Rosedale Hall on a monthly basis. And a lot of those things have really nothing to do with sports. They were things like art classes, cooking classes, speakers coming in, etc. So it was more activities than recreation. So it was recommended that we change our name so it's not just recreation.
Mhm.
Did any of the other names on the list kind of stand out? I really do like the MARC. Jeff?
I like the initials.
Yeah, I mean, that is cool. I mean, I just kind of forgot what I was going to say there, but what was the other one? Not recreation. It's not arts, but what's the another way of? We just said that
Leisure and recreation.
Activities.
Activities, like what? Like that's actually like the Montague Activities Committee. Like is that like along those lines? Because once again, it's running activities and everything else.
I like that.
So Montague Activities and Recreation Committee instead of Arts. We're still keeping with the MARC. Go ahead, Val.
Yeah, I like the Montague Activities and Recreation Committee. But I also like the arts because we also want to embellish, with having films, maybe and direct things for the nature lovers and interest for seniors sort of thing. So I like the Montague Arts and Recreation Committee, but I like the Montague Activities and Recreation Committee, the MARC. I like that.
Art. Yeah, I like it too.
I like the initials.
Arts just gives it such a broad range of things, though, when you think about it, right? Like arts covers so many different things, whether it's videos, whether it's, you know, creating things in your yard, or like arts covers such a broad range of different things. Anybody else want to jump in? Sorry, Jessica.
What about like culture instead of arts, like recreation and culture committee?
Yeah, yeah.
That sounds good, Mom.
I like it.
You got one vote.
We all have the same thing sometimes. That's the reason why we're doing this, is for the little ones, right? Anybody else have anything to jump?
Yeah, MCRC.
What's that, Jeff?
I'm just kind of think of the culture, like the Montague Culture
Yeah.
Committee at MCRC.
MCRC.
MCRC. That kind of like that is that's I'm gonna vote for that one.
Ian?
I agree with Jeff. I am what Jessica just proposed. I really like that, so I'm gonna vote for that.
I
one
agree
as
with kid in the background either.
Well, I have a
I
really
like that one
long
too.
one for it. I have a really long one for us. Community Recreation and Cultural Arts of Montague.
Oh my
And
God.
it's Kraken.
What is
So we
it?
could start by saying release the Kraken.
So Jeff, was that Montague Cultural and Recreation Committee that you suggested? Yeah. Okay.
Jessica,
That has a nice
I
ring.
think it's MCRC. I think that's kind of sounds.
MCRC, yeah.
Yeah, I like that one too.
I like the, yeah. Does everybody, do I want to vote on like that one then, or do you want to put a top three, Melissa?
Yeah.
Vote for that one first
Melissa
and see
likes
how far
it
it goes.
too? Okay.
Yeah, that was the vote for that one.
Okay, so I guess we'll take a vote for the MCRC.
Yep.
If
Yeah.
everybody's in agreement,
Yep.
put your hand up.
Solid.
Oh,
Yeah.
Unanimous.
Unanimous.
hard to see.
MCRC.
Is it
Yay.
culture or cultural?
MCR.
Montague Cultural, isn't it?
Cultural, yeah.
Culture.
And recreation.
Okay.
Culture.
I like
I'll do
culture
culture.
better.
Culture.
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 Okay, what is it?
What's the appropriate? Okay, I think it's cultural would be the appropriate way to word it. I don't know. Does anybody? Does Google tell you that?
Do we have any teachers here?
Do we have any teachers? No way. We're gonna have that in teacher.
Jeff?
So I don't know, but I'll put
The Montague Cultural and Recreation Committee. It has a
So
nice.
I was on the Smith Falls Arts and Culture Council before.
Sure.
So we always use culture, not cultural.
Okay.
Okay.
So is that an agreement then? Culture?
Yep, that's good.
Culture is a noun and cultural is an adjective,
Oh,
That's good.
as in cultural exchange. So it should actually be culture, that's a noun.
Yep. So Montague Culture Recreation Committee.
Culture and.
Or the Montague Recreation and Culture Committee.
Montague Recreation.
MRCC.
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 I feel like it's easier to say the Montague Recreational Culture Committee, no? Than it is the
Yeah,
other way.
it
The
is.
Montague Culture and Recreation Committee. Montague, right? Doesn't it
Yeah.
kind of flow a little bit better? Montague Recreation Culture Committee.
And we're just
Yeah.
adding to what we are.
We're just switching the letters.
Yeah, we're adding Montague Recreation Culture
Committee.
Committee.
It's still MRCC, which is very, so,
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we'll do a revote then. So if I could have all hands agreement for Montague Recreation Culture Committee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Unanimous. All right, so that direction will be headed to council as well. Okay, so next on the list, we're doing so well here. Update on the recreational study. Now, I don't have that info. Did you get that info, Jeff, or anyone, or Joanne, or Christy?
Sorry, I don't have a lot of information. I mean, the survey's done, everything else. So now the group is really, I guess, putting together the rest of the report. A lot of it obviously goes around still like the 22 acres. So trying to see, I guess, what's going to be financially feasible and all that kind of stuff. So I get the indication we might be getting that back sometime in June. I'm hoping we'll get some more information in the next little bit. And then we'll kind of go from there. But on that, maybe side note too, as well as it came up in council last meeting about the cutting of the grass and everything else, and the cutting of that 22 acres. So we get it cut once a year, anyways. But we did discuss at council because there's a little bit of money left over in the budget, about $750 at a cut, and the person that will cut that for us said they'll cut that for $250 a cut, which is pretty reasonable considering it's 22 acres. And so like if we did a couple extra cuts there, you know, just in people's sort of thoughts, if you're thinking you want to maybe try to do something there this summer, like it's a big outdoor park area, and maybe that could be something that we could utilize this summer with COVID, especially. Like it doesn't have anything there, but at least it's an open space. So just kind of fire that out there. But to go back to the survey or the study, hopefully we'll get, you know, it's really them doing all of their work in the backgrounds, and we just kind of have to wait and see where all the information kind of folds. I know they have all of their information that they've gotten from the people out there, and also some of the groups too as well. So hopefully it's going to be you know, something we can really build off of. So.
Okay. Anybody else have anything to add? No. Alrighty, so then moving on to new business. A discussion on changes of terms of reference. Now, I did kind of read through it. I didn't catch the change, like all the changes. Does anybody have any lib that they want to add to that? Maggie?
Okay, so it was proposed at the last council meeting that the terms of reference be changed. I sent out copies of the existing terms of reference to everybody, as well as the changes that they want to make. And there's 2 or 3 main changes that really hit close to home. One of them was that they wanted to remove one of the members of council. So instead of having 2 members of council, we'd only have 1 member of council. I did send an email to the office opposing that, simply because we haven't had a recreation committee in a long time. So a lot of us are brand new to this stuff, and we don't know procedures. We don't know what's been done in the past necessarily. We don't know what we're able to do and how to do it. So I always think it's better to have more voices from council than less voices from council. So I did send out an email saying I was opposed to that. Please keep both people on. I think the concern was Bill attending our meetings, and someone thought that it was a quorum with 3 members of a 5-member council being at this meeting. So I did some research, and I don't see the problem. I checked with some other in Lanark County, some other places. Beckwith Township has 5 council members on the rec committee. and they only have 5 council members. So everybody sits on it.
Sitting on it.
And and I said, I was speaking to one of them, and I said, well, have you ever had a complaint that having all 5 of you there, and you can go back through the minutes, and there was at least 4 of them there for every meeting. Was there a problem with somebody saying, oh, that's a meeting quorum then? No, it's scheduled as a recreational meeting. It's not scheduled as a township meeting or a COW meeting. It's a rec committee meeting. Another place has 8 members on council, and they have 3 members on the rec committee. And the Reeve also sits as an ex officiato. I think that's how you say the word. Basically, it's a member with no vote. He can say whatever he wants, but he's got no vote on anything that the rec committee does, but he's welcome to sit in any meeting. Mississippi Mills has no rec committee, but would love to have one. So
Katie, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I agree. I think having more than one is really important. I also think that it's great that each of them have their own personality and bring different traits to our table. So they're not always going to give the exact answer that we may want to hear. And I think that's important. We need that on here. So I think we need more than one.
A full agreement, Jim?
I think the 2 gentlemen here right now are great. Being on council for 8 years, I can kind of see the reason why when you do have more, especially if you have two or 3 councillors, and then you do have your Reeve that comes in, because what can happen, I'm not saying it would here, but what can happen is those 2, especially if the Reeve, whoever it is at the time, speaks out, can sway quite often the rest of the committee. And I've been around long enough, I can see that can happen. You say like the Reeve doesn't have no actual say, but he can talk. Well, a Reeve and 2 or 3 councillors on there can quite easily sway the rest of the people on. And that's the major reason I believe I was told when we were on there why there couldn't be a whole mess of councillors. Because the Reeve's on every committee, the Reeve is automatically, unless it's changed now, and Jeff maybe knows that better, I don't know. But when I was there, the Reeve could come on any committee. And you're right, he's not to really have any vote or anything, but if you watch Smith Falls councils and other places, quite often certain councillors will follow certain Reeves and things they don't want to say. So in my opinion, that's the only reason that it's there. It doesn't bother me here at all, but that's the reason that we had at the time.
Well, our terms of reference now say that the Reeve shall sit as an ex officio member. And to me, the meetings are open to the public. Now, this is totally different because we're all on Zoom. But if our meetings were at Rosedale like they normally should be, all members of council could come and sit in the audience. It's an open meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the same as we go and sit at the hall and watch the council meeting. Jeff?
And that's the hardest part about this, because I mean, like, and Maggie, I totally understand like where you're coming from as far as what's going on in other municipalities. I mean, the rules are very clear. That's the hard part. The biggest thing is if you get people from the public that point out those things. And in certain municipalities, I'm going to try to be as politically correct as I can here. In certain municipalities, they won't have anybody that'll point out those problems. Our municipality, we're fortunate enough to have residents that are very involved, that like to make sure that we follow all the rules. And if that is pointed out and we do nothing about it, and a phone call is made to a integrity commissioner, we could see some problems. So that's the hardest part. So I mean, we're trying to avoid. That being said, if you talk to myself, and I'm sure I'm going to speak for Ian in this sense, neither one of us have any interest of leaving this committee. So I mean, we and I stated that in a past council meeting too as well. Like I mean, I got onto this because I enjoy it and I want to be a part of it. You know, sometimes you get yourself in hot water if you try to get yourself into too much a part of something. But it is what it is. But I think and exactly the point. I think if we get back to Rosedale Hall and we get the live meetings, when Bill is sitting at the table that's behind us, it's not an issue. But there is no table behind us on Zoom. We're all in the same spot. So it's really a tricky spot. And so I think we have to be careful in that sense. But also in the same token, I said, Bill, like, watch it on Zoom. I mean, send some information to us if we need it. And then when we get back to the live world, I'm sure Bill is going to be sitting in the gallery. So he's there to help us out. So, I mean, but it is tricky. But I mean, I hear you, and that's loud and clear that having 2 council members on the committee is useful to the committee. I'm fully open for supporting that when we go back to our council meeting.
I think Ian was first. I think.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to reiterate a little bit what Jeff said, and I agree with him. I'm here for a reason. I want to be here because I really do believe in recreation for the township. And that being said, I think one of the problems that happens when there's 3 of us here, and is that if somebody addresses members of council and I say something and Jeff says something, and then if Bill was on here and he said something, or the Reeve or whoever else it might be at the end of the day, then there really is direction from council, and that's where it starts to get really sticky and can really put us in some potential hot water, as what Jeff just brought up. And it not being intentional either. So
exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Maggie?
So is it our mistake in the minutes as putting him as present for the meeting?
As long as it says ex officio, as long as it says that.
Yeah, or visitor or whatever.
Yeah, like,
Because
we can have him, I think, can we have him as a guest?
I was just
speaker?
trying to explain what went on when I was there. I haven't been in the last 4 years, but when I was there, that was the explanation that we had. As I said, I have nothing wrong with Ian and Jeff being here. I don't want them to have somebody say something. If that's fine, and as far as our council and our out there, the township, it says it's fine, then to me it's fine. I'm not here my first meeting trying to tell somebody they can't be here by any means. I was just trying to explain how I was like when we had the road committees and we had the 4 or 5 committees we only had 1 counselor on each of those committees at the time. Now it may have changed, and two I can't see nothing wrong with, but when you have 3 sitting there, sometimes it can be, even though the third person doesn't vote on anything or nothing. Yeah. I think that's the way some people look at it. That's all I was just pointing out to our group. That was all. Like, to me, I'm fine the way it is. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. But I was just trying to give a little input to what was.
We could just permanently mute him.
Yeah, we do have that control, I think.
Mute button and don't let him talk.
I do remember one of the council meetings, I believe it was at a council meeting, and it was explained of why there was only 2 and not 3, and it does change the whole, whether it's, a council meeting or whether it's a rec meeting. I always value Bill's history. He brings a lot of history that some of us tend to forget or aren't even aware of. So yeah, I mean, I always want him to be watching in, at least, to give us those comments and whatnot. But I think we have to stay where we keep the committee, where we don't get ourselves into any trouble. I don't think there's anything wrong, though, if there's something that does come up and he has something to share, that he could be a guest speaker. I don't know if we'll have with the legalities on that one as a guest speaker rather than, somebody that's part of the committee.
It's not going to be for us. There'd be no problem with us. If there was a problem, it would be with Jeff and Ian. Nothing's going to happen to us.
Yeah.
But somebody, whatever the law, whatever the rules say, and I'm hoping it's fine, because I think it'd be great to work with these 2 fellows. I know both of them, but that was the only thing I was mentioning. I wasn't trying to stir up a whole lot here. I just
no, it
was stirred up already.
Meetings.
It's already been stirred up.
It's already been stirred up, and I think we'll bring that part back to council, because I mean, and we'll have that discussion a little bit more at council. But I mean, obviously, this is good to hear from the committee loud and clear. you know, that it's beneficial, especially where we are right now with the committee. That to have the, you know, that the two of us here is a benefit for sure. So I think we'll bring that back to council and go from there. So I know Maggie's got a few more on there. So
Yeah.
I was
And I'm
just going to say, oh, sorry, was it my turn?
Jim, go ahead.
Okay, sorry about that if I jumped in. Yeah, I was just going to say, and as long as the Reeve doesn't have any vote or anything, and as long as whoever's the Reeve at any time doesn't persuade anybody other than just giving his, you know, his info and what's going on, I personally don't see any trouble with two members of council here. I really don't. If you get three that are involved, that makes a big difference, because in our case, 3 members of council, it's a quorum, and you know that you can't do that. So as far as that goes, I think if you just check and they say that's fine, I think we should stay the way we are.
Yep.
I think this would be great.
Maggie?
Yeah, our terms of reference right now have 2 sitting members of council and the Reeve as an ex officio. I would like them to leave that until the next term instead of changing it now, because we're still taking baby steps. I know we got into a bunch of trouble with how we did the flag thing, but none of us knew any better. We just figured, oh, sure, let's do that. We didn't know we needed permission and procedure things and procurement things. And even though we had 2 members of council, they both gave us different answers, but at least it made us think what's the right way to do it.
Yeah.
So I would like them to leave the terms of reference for this sitting of the Recreation Committee.
I agree.
And then if they
I
want to
agree.
change to the next one, go for it.
I
One thing I would like maybe the guys to bring up, there was one thing that was in terms of reference from other places that I would like to see added to ours. And let me find it. And it was to do with committee absences, people that are absent, people that do not come to the committee. And some of them were for 3 consecutive meetings. Some of them were 4 consecutive meetings without the okay of the chair. If there's a reason that they can't make it, that's fine. The chair approves it, that's fine. But we've had one member who hasn't been here for a year. And I think we should be able to replace that member. Instead of always having them on the minutes, always having them as a member of the committee. And people that want to join the committee, we got some new members, but there were also other members that wanted to join. And no, it was 10, that's it. We'll let you know the next time. I know there's 2 people that still want on this committee, and we have a member that hasn't been here for a year. And we should be able to say that person's no longer on the committee and replace them.
Jim?
Can you not have one of our councillor members talk with council about that? Because I'm sure they have the authority to remove somebody if that person isn't attending. As you say, it's not very good. I don't even know who the person is, but it's not very good if someone doesn't attend the meetings. You might as well, you know, ask them nicely to be removed and then put somebody on there that wants to help the rest of the group.
Yeah, it's her work schedule, and she knows she can't make the meetings, and she keeps saying, well, I'm just gonna resign. But seemingly until they get that resignation, because there's nothing in our terms of reference about absentee committee members.
So Jeff and then Ian. Jeff?
I was just gonna say I can follow up with that to see if the interest is still there, and if that's the case, we can maybe get that sort of dealt with. So let me follow up with that if you don't mind, and I'll see if we can help with that.
Awesome, thank you. Ian?
Yeah, perfect. That's great, Jeff. You're following up with that. Let's just. I think that it's been brought to attention. That's we're going far enough. I don't want to go any further than that personally. So.
Yeah. Agreed. Okay, so I think we can move on from that. We are, or did anybody have anything to add before we move on? No? Okay. So discussion of other groups and churches from the township. Maggie, did you have anything, or Jeff or something?
Vince asked me to put this on the agenda, but I don't think Vince is here tonight.
No, he didn't make it from what I see.
don't know where it is.
And maybe we can forward that on to the next meeting.
Yeah.
And he can maybe, or give us an email and let us know what that was all about. So does anybody have anything else they want to bring to the meeting before we say goodnight?
Oh,
Maggie?
I want to ask if there's any update on the septic system at Rosedale. Has it been started, finished?
That would,
No, not sure.
it's not started. I just see the message on the bottom.
Okay.
And I also saw a message at one point that Crystal also volunteered to help with, I believe it was delivering.
Oh, great.
There was 2 others, but I don't know how to pull them when I'm on it. So I guess that's it. Oh, Ian?
I think the, if I'm not mistaken, Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's June for the replacement of.
I think so too. That's right. Yeah, we have it's done, and I think it's June. Yeah, I think you're right.
For what?
June. I think it's due to be done, completed in June.
Oh, okay. Sorry. All right. And for our next meeting, that will be on April, May 20. Does anybody have a calendar in front of them?
May 25,
May 25th.
May 5th,
Sorry?
25.
Yep. All right. So May 25th is our next meeting at 6 p.m. Looking forward to seeing everybody. I guess I better get my sheets here to make sure that everything is signed, sealed, and.
So if people can get back to one of us, either Brandy or Val or myself, on the okay for those locations for the pickup as soon as possible, so we can get something put together for council to let them know. And then I'll send out emails, and I've delivered the flags to people, or they can come pick them up. I'm going to print out the little flyer things to put on them so they know where they came from.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't know if I'll get them all. Oh, Jim's got a question.
Yeah.
No, I just, when you were done, I just wanted to say thanks to everybody for including me, that it's been a pleasure to meet you all. So I just thought I'd say that. Thanks very much.
Good to have you on board.
I want to actually, before we close too and start finishing, I want to thank you guys for joining, because I know it's not easy to do on these. So I'll give you a big applause. It's taken all of us quite a bit to get used to doing this. So thank you for putting yourself out of your comfort zone and joining the team. We're glad to have you. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
So Valerie, did you have anything to add before we start closing up? We're good?
No, I just wanted to say welcome to everybody, and thanks for joining. So, yeah.
Okay, so to move that the Recreation Committee confirm all of the direction as agreed at the meeting of April 27, 2021, and forward the direction to council for final approval. So firster is Melissa, seconder, and Katie. Okay. And so what time is it? 7:11. 7:11, the meeting is now adjourned at 7:11 p.m. on April 27th, 2021. Do I have a move? Oh, everybody, I'll go Melissa and then a seconder.
No, sorry.
Sorry, you guys are quick. Alrighty, and Jim. So the meeting is now adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining in. Have a great night.
Yeah.
Be safe.